Well, a very pleasant good evening here. We're going to do the Battle of Rogers Avenue, and I've got Terrell King. I'm Keith Evans. I'll call the action tonight. And Terrell, has been an interesting last 2 or 3 days as we had the solar eclipse today that wasn't quite what I thought it might be. And then you had John Calipari going to be a Razorback.
The Eric Musselman eclipse.
Yeah, so a lot of good things going on there. But tonight we've got the Battle of Rogers Avenue. We're here at the Evans Boys Club as the Southside Mavericks will take on the Northside Grizzlies. Always a fun game to do. And, we're going to have a good time tonight. And I know the Southside team, a very young team coming in tonight. And
we're just talking about all the sophomores that are going to be starting.
In fact, you're going to have a sophomore pitcher out there tonight, and Mason Howell will start the ball game. So, there's the good and the bad in that. The bad is you're having to start young. I think he's actually a 9th grader. And, having to start these young people. But the thing is, too, we look at it like it was in football. It really reaped benefits this year in football with all the starters and stuff. And we'll look at the starting lineups for tonight's ball game. First for the visitors on the scoreboard, your Northside Grizzlies. They will go with Andrew Taylor in center field, Mason Kincannon second base, Alex Martinez catcher, Max Howerton first base, Elijah Fury right field, Cash Standridge third base, Jackson Stevens left field, Max Kincannon shortstop, Lucas Calderera will be your DH with Logan Matlock your pitcher tonight. While for the Southside Mavericks, they'll go with Jackson Pruitt at shortstop, Caden Main at second base, Peyton Zimmerman right field, Will Hainsworth catcher, Cade Weehunt center field, Mason Howell pitcher, Blake Forsgren first base, Gage Stewart third base, and Parker Ellis rounds out the starting lineup for the Mavs as your left fielder.
They're getting to do a fancy Major League Baseball walkout, Keith. It's pretty cool for these guys.
Batting cleanup, playing first base, number 14, Max Howerton. In the 5-hole, playing right field, number 9, Elijah Fury. Number 7, batting 6.
I like it when they do this, though,
I do
get
too.
recognition here in both teams. And I'm really excited about this Southside team. I know from what I'm hearing, I haven't got to see any ball games this year, but I know the Southside team likes to play a lot of small ball. They like to go base to base, station to station, and I love that kind of ball.
Me too.
And, that's what you need, too. Now, people laugh at me. I'll go to Razorback games, and I'm always wondering why we're not laying a bunt down, we're not doing this. Or
well, especially in certain situations, it's like it's only to your advantage if you can figure it out. And, we kind of saw that the other day in the Hall game where, we put one down, they threw us out at home. Next thing you know, we're in another game, we lay it down, works perfect. So I believe it.
Jackson Pruitt's going to run up. Looks like he's going to go out to the other side. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right, too. It's a situation that you're in a lot of times. A lot of times early in a ball game you want to play for the big inning, but I'm of the belief I haven't seen enough, kind of going back to the Razorbacks, I haven't seen enough where they're hitting the baseball that good enough to where they need to be not laying a bunt down or something. And what really drives me crazy is the fact I was at the Ole Miss game this week and they do that shift.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
They
didn't help them much.
Well, it was a left-handed batter up. It was Lovich. He was batting. And I'm sitting there saying, why don't you just lay a bunt down the third baseline because ain't nobody there.
That's it.
So it's a hit.
They got to run so far, it's going to be a bunt for a hit.
It was a hit, and he did lay it down, and that to me is another lost art is bunting.
Bunting for a hit, for sure. I mean.
Beautiful day for baseball.
Doesn't get much better. They got their professional photographer out there too, Keith. I think that's why they lined up out there in the fields to get a snapshot up close.
And we're going to have the national anthem. We'll take a bit of a break here and as they play the national anthem. Well, Terrell, the good thing is, which tends to happen a lot at Southside basketball games, they were able to get the national anthem off.
That's right.
Running tonight, so.
Well, and you know, Keith, anybody that's been listening to us very much, they know we're going to have some kind of, reference to the music, and I like that little Chris Stapleton start to the evening.
Well, they had at the Razorback game, they had a young lady get out there and sing the national anthem, and she did a great job from the beginning. It just got better as it went along. She got more comfortable into it and did a really good job. So when you get to hear that, it just kind of gives you a bit of a chill as we look at the infield for the Mavs. I'll go with Gage Stewart at third base. Jackson Pruitt will be your shortstop. Caden Main is second base, and Blake Forsgren at first. Left field, Parker Ellis. Center field will be Cade Weehunt. Yeah, Cade Weehunt. And your right field will be Peyton Zimmerman. A lot of people remember that name. Peyton Zimmerman was your quarterback for the Mavs this year. Your battery will be catching Will Hainsworth, your pitcher Mason Howell. Off for the Northside Grizzlies, I'll have Andrew Taylor leading off, followed by Mason Kincannon and Alex Martinez here in the first inning. If anybody gets on, your cleanup hitter Max Howerton. Tell you what, you couldn't ask for a better day. It's going to be windy out there. There may be some challenging plays.
Yeah, out there in left field, man, that ball's going to carry.
But it's kind of a swirling wind. I mean, it's not, really one direction. It kind of seems like it shifts at times. So
yeah, that flag, that's the funny thing. It feels like it's right to our back, but we're sitting here looking at the American flag blowing right to left.
Yeah, and that's one of those things, too, that you're going to see a lot of maybe a pop-up and somebody calls it, and they may not be the one that eventually makes the catch either.
That's right.
As Taylor will step in here. As Mason Howell looks in to get the sign. Here's the first pitch, just a bit outside.
Tell you what, that's where you want to live, though, outside corner against these guys.
Take it a bit inside. He'll foul it off to the right. Makes you count to 1-1. I like Northside's jerseys. I'm always the one that likes to kind of bring a little color into the jersey and everything, and got a nice color there. And I suspect Southside probably has similar jerseys too, probably 2 or 3 different combinations.
They do. I like their away jerseys too. They're slick.
Got a 2-1 count here. Swing and a miss by Taylor. Evens it up at 2-2. Again, just getting going here. First batter of the ball game, Andrew Taylor. There's a pitch by Maddox, going to be high. Full count. I like that pitch, too. It's maybe just a bit high, but you want to get it there. You don't want to put it down there on the 2-2. That's the one you want to make him. That's your pitch. Now you got to make a strike pitch here. Here's the pitch, and there's a shot down the line that goes foul.
It's a heck of an at-bat for old number 18 right here. Start the ball game off.
Yeah, and that's another thing, too, I've kind of noticed. I really kind of started watching the pitch counts.
Yeah.
Big ball 4.
Now batting second baseman, number 1, Mason Kincannon.
They'll bring up Mason Kincannon. He'll bat from the left side. See what Northside wants to do here. Looks like Stewart going to cheat up a bit. He'll be up even with the grass. There's a pitch as he squared around the bunt, pulls the bat back for strike 1.
He sure did. You know, the other thing about these Northside Grizzly jerseys I like, they got that little State of Arkansas on the back. It's pretty cool.
Pitch out. Little cat and mouse here early in the ball game.
It's the right idea. You just hate you're already sitting at 9 pitches.
Kincannon, he squared around, and you thought he was going to bunt. Here's the pitch. He is going to take it outside, 2-1. It's those walks, that's what hurts. You got to avoid those walks. I always told kids, you might give a big hit somewhere, and it may be a home run, but if it's a single home run, it's a lot better than those 2 you put on there to make it a 3-run homer. There's going to be a steal here by Taylor. They'll throw the ball down, and Taylor's going to have the base. Got a good jump on the play. Got a 3-1 count here on Mason Kincannon. There's got to be a little bit of nerves, too, whenever Northside and Southside play.
Sure.
So, Howell settled down here. Probably take off the bunt here. No, they're still squaring around, going for the bunt. That's kind of an interesting play right there, like they're playing station to station for that first run. Be a full count here.
Well, it puts defense, on a spot, but, now you got to think that bunt's off.
There's a 3-2 pitch. He'll get him. Strike 3. Swing and a miss by Kincannon. They'll bring up Alex Martinez, your catcher. Even though they got the out, they got what they wanted. They did move the runner over by the steal. Taylor getting the steal, so they got him in scoring position. Yeah, that brings up another point, too, that ball game the other night, Razorback game, I believe it was Diggs tried to steal third base with 2 outs, and I didn't really understand that. I mean, you put pressure on the catcher when you do that, but otherwise, here's a high pitch, ball 1 to Martinez.
I always say you're hoping for something there.
Well, maybe you're catching them sleeping or something.
Yeah, that's it. Trying to force a mistake.
But that's your toughest base to steal, though, is third base because that distance isn't as far. So there's a pitch, and there's a shot down the line that's foul. Coach gets out of the way of it. Got 1-1 there.
What'd you call that? Soccer move Coach made to get out?
Well, I'd do anything I could to get out of the way.
Yeah, right. That thing was screaming.
I'm a little surprised they don't have the coaches. They don't usually have them wearing the helmets. There's a 1-1 pitch. There's a shot that's going to get through. No, there's Jackson Pruitt makes the play. Throws over to Forsgren, makes a nice play, and he puts the tag on. He's got him.
That's a heck of a job right there.
That's a good job by Pruitt coming over, and an even nicer play by Forsgren making the tag. Well, they're going to question that. I think he tagged him.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. You could see it kind of hurt his glove.
Well, and the key on that, too, is the fact that the umpire, when you've got a man on second base, he can't be on that side. So, he's going to have to try to make the best call he can. But I didn't see any air between the glove and the back. So
no, and it looked like that glove moved a little bit.
They'll bring up Max Howerton. Here's the first pitch to Howerton on the outside, ball 1. Hal does a good job, though, of nibbling those corners.
Yeah, he does. He's got good breaking pitch.
There's a pitch to the outside. Good job by Hainsworth there behind the plate to block it. Got a man on third here with 2 outs. You had a Mason Cannon strikeout along with a ground out by Alex Martinez.
Thing I've liked about Hal with that breaking pitch, it's like if he's left it anywhere, he's left it high, and that's what you want.
That's going to be a bit high to the inside. Be 3-0 here. And as you watch Hal pitch too, he's really uses the plate well. He's not really, the pitch that was over the plate was high. The other two was either inside or outside. And there's a strike on the inside to Howerton, makes it 3-1. I don't know if you're a coach, you got to be happy to have a young man like that that's going to only get better. There's ball 4, a bit high. Got runners on first and third here with 2 outs. Mav's going to have a meeting here at the mound.
Remember a play we used to run all the time against you guys?
Have
you have runners at the corners like that? Our catcher, this guy's taking off on first base. As soon as he takes off, my catcher pops up like he's throwing a second, throws it right back to the pitcher as hard as he can. And a lot of times this guy on third will get an extra step, and he's in the middle of the air by the time the pitcher's got the ball. But your catcher's got to throw it hard.
Well, you'd have to think here. I'm not sure what the strategy would be if Howerton decides to steal. I think that'd probably just give him the base.
Yeah, that's the right play for sure.
Yeah, let's see if Forsgren holds him on. But you know, it's like you said, though, you come up, pop up, and look down at third, you never know.
Try to force the mistake.
Thing is, you just don't, you know, I try to teach this in baseball, too. Don't get too cute. Don't,
That's right.
you know, keep throwing the ball around, something bad's going to happen. And they're not stealing here, and there's a pitch on the outside corner, strike one to Elijah Ferry. He's your right fielder for the Grizzlies tonight.
Yeah, and to your point, a lot of times what I see these guys do is they'll pop up and they'll throw it to shortstop. Shortstop will come running up, and you're just begging for an error there.
There's a ground ball that's going to get through the diving attempt there by Caden Manus. RBI single there for Ferry, first run of the ball game. I'll tell you what, those walks come back to haunt you, don't
Every time. Every time.
That ball was really placed in a good spot, too. As Manus made a good attempt to get to it, but he was just really was kind of covering that middle up a little bit. And sometimes you hit him where they ain't, and that was exactly what happened there as Cash Standards will step into the plate now for the Grizzlies. Bats from the left side. First pitch is going to be a strike. That was an interesting conversation I heard a gentleman talking about Will McIntyre for the Razorbacks. And the percentages that you have when you throw a first strike, you're so much better ahead as far as the pitcher.
I've heard them using some new verbiage I had never heard before, new phrasing or whatever. They say they race to get to two strikes, and I'd never heard that before, and I thought that was a really good way to describe what they're doing.
Here's a pitch, going to be low, 2-1. Ainsworth doing a good job back there of really turning that glove down and moving his body in front of the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a good catcher.
2-1 count here. Runners going. As you thought, they go ahead and let him take the base. So break second and third now. 3-1 count. Big opportunity here for the Mavs to get out of this inning. There's a pitch. It's fouled off, full count. You know what's interesting about this field too, Terrell, and I do like that, is you have a turf infield and a grass outfield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's neat. These guys, we got to play a couple seasons out here in Little League, and it's cool to see these guys run around.
I know when they first did Hunts Park, I didn't know what to do.
I know.
Here's the 3-2 pitch up, and it's a line drive that hangs up, and there's Ellis makes the catch. I think that's what you were talking about, too, right there, was that ball actually kind of, not sure it was that hard hit, but it carried.
Yes, that's it. Hung up.
So get one run. It's a good job of coming back there pitching by Mason Howell. And, again, it was those walks that got him in a bit of trouble, and then you got the big base hit from Elijah Ferry, knocked in the run, and then they were getting second and third, and there's a nice play by Ellis there in the outfield. Parker Ellis making the catch. The bad thing is, I can say this too, is Parker Ellis's dad, Larry, I actually coached him when he was little. And yeah, my wife told me one time, I was telling some people at the ball game about coaching Jared Branham and also coaching Kobe Branham, and she said, you shouldn't be telling people that. They're going to think you're old.
You'll have to ask Ellis why he didn't get you some of that pork up there. he was like head chef that evening.
Yeah, I don't think I actually see Butterbean sitting up there. He's up at the ball game today, Jared Branham, affectionately known as Butterbean.
Yes.
And we'll look at the Northside lineup here. They'll have Cash Standards at third, Maddox Kincannon, your short, Mason Kincannon, second base, Max Howerton, first base, Alex Martinez will be your catcher. Your pitcher, Logan Matlock. Outfield of Jackson Stevens, Andrew Taylor, and Elijah Ferry. Off for Southside this inning, they'll have Jackson Pruitt leading off, followed by Caden Manus, Peyton Zimmerman, if it may gets on, Will Hainsworth.
Yeah, you got batters all up and down this order, but I think if Coach has his way, he'd probably like to have probably 3 runs by the time we get to batter number 6.
Leading off the bottom of the first inning for the Mavericks.
Here's your walk-up music, Keith.
Yep.
Number 2, Jackson Pruitt.
And I hate to say this too, but I actually coached Jackson's dad, Grant, when he
Did
was he was 5th and 6th grade basketball. Ended up punting for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Was a quarterback at Southside for 3 years.
He's a baller.
We'll lead off here. First pitch by Matlock's a strike. Like Matlock's got a little bit of pep on his throw.
Mm-hmm.
Pruitt will try to get it started here for the Mavs. They trail 1-0 here in the first inning. High pitch, swing and miss. 0-2 on Pruitt.
Got a battle right here.
See what Matlock wants to do here. Kind of went up a little bit again. I kind of think he might do that again. 0-2 pitch, and it's fouled off. I got the guys over here worried about the equipment. That was that close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We were talking about those nets in front of some of these cameras. It's like kind of a catch-22. If you move it too close, you might take a ball off of the lens.
Yeah, that may be our second job here today is maybe hold the net down. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and there's a curveball outside. Like that pitch, he just went a little bit too far outside. That was a nasty curve, though.
It was a heck of a curve. Looked like it started off going toward the batter and ended up coming at me.
But the problem was it actually started more towards the outside of the plate once it got there, and then it was easy to lay off of it. But I'll tell you what, if he brings that to the inside, that's a tough pitch to hit. And there's strike 3 right there on the outside corner. That'll bring up Caden Manus.
Mavericks, number 18, second baseman, Caden Manus.
There's the first pitch to Manus. It's going to be a 3-hopper to the shortstop, going to field it there and not going to have a play. As Maddox Kincannon goes ahead and eats the ball. It got that one extra hop in there.
That you were talking just a minute ago about Hunts Park and the turf. That was the one thing we always had to do is when we knew we were going to be playing on turf, get a practice or two out there to figure out that hop because it hops different on every one of these fields.
Peyton Zimmerman will step up to the plate for the Mavs. He was one of our safeties this year in football, only a sophomore. See what Southside wants to do here with Manus on first. Howerton holds him on. They'll throw it over there. And
yeah, and Zimmerman's actually been pitching a little bit for varsity too. So
Northside really having to scramble with their pitching staff right now. They've not had McLean Moody in there. Moody, one of the top pitchers in the state.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully he'll be back in a couple of weeks. There's the first pitch, going to be fouled off. We'll see what the Mavs want to do here, if they want to maybe go station to station. Manus gets his lead. Doesn't have a real big lead. He's going on the pitch, and it bounces and going to be there. Got a pretty good jump, but also got a break there when the ball bounced. So Manus is still second. He's in scoring position now for Peyton Zimmerman. I look at the station to station, laying the bunts down stuff. That's why the old Cardinals with Whitey Herzog always played.
My kind of baseball kid.
Won him a championship.
Yeah.
Got to watch Willie McGee run the bases one time. I've never seen a guy that fast.
I always like to say it's kind of hard to argue with logic.
Little cat and mouse there at second. There's the pitch going to be on the outside corner for a strike. Brings the count to 1-2. And Zimmerman will have to guard the plate here. Try to put the ball in play. You got Manus on second base with an infield base hit. A little interesting, the cat and mouse, 'cause he doesn't have that big of a lead at second. Here's the pitch. And hitting the corner again, strike 3. That's 2 strikeouts in the inning for Matlock.
Yeah, that's the strange thing, though, about, just psychologically, when you got a pitcher that's checking you at first base, he's already in your head. It don't matter if you're at second base, third base from that point on. Once he's throwing it back at you, I mean, you're always going to be ready for him to throw it back. So I've always thought that was smart of a pitcher. It's like, even if you're not trying to get the guy, let him know you care.
Well, to me, the only reason you want to get a big lead anyway is if you're going to steal, because what you can do once he delivers the ball to the plate, then you take your lead.
That's it. Get you extra.
Bring up Will Hainsworth. Got 2 outs. You want to time that cat and mouse to where he's going 2 second, throw and then hit the ball where the shortstop ain't. That's
it.
what you want to do.
That's it.
First pitch is a strike. Matlock doing a good job of getting ahead of the batters here in the first inning. He's got 2 Ks. So catcher Will Hainsworth steps in.
Yeah, that's the one thing I forgot, Keith. Forgot my radar gun.
Tell you what, I was watching that with high pitch here, strike 2, swing and miss. Kristen Fouch came in for the Hogs, and he had it, first 3 pitches were 97, 98. Now, I'm not sure if he hit 99 or not, but I'll tell you what, that's bringing the heat.
What blew my mind is he was hitting 98 out of the stretch.
Yeah. What was good, too, with them, and we kind of go back and forth to them, is Gage Wood came in and did a solid job.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I think we know.
If I'm the Mavs here, I may try to steal third base. I'm not going to. There's a high pitch again. Makes it 1-2. That's what I thought they would do with Jackson Pruitt when they got him kind of fishing for the high pitch there. They come back this time with Hainsworth and make the high pitch. Good job by Hainsworth laying off of it.
I was kind of wondering if that was even a pitch or if that was just pitching out, thinking that runner was going.
There's a pitch right down the middle, strike 3. Matlock strikes out the side. At the end of 1 inning, Southside trails Northside 1-0. I tell you, Matlock's going to be tough today if he's able to get that first pitch in there like he's been doing. He's really doing a good job of working the corners, and then you get those 2 strikes. We saw him go back to the high pitches, but I like that curveball.
Well,
you still a break on that.
You were talking pitch count earlier. The difference right now, through 4 batters, you've got 29 pitches on Hal's arm, and you've got 12 pitches on Matlock's arm. So it's a little bit of difference right there, more than double the pitches.
Be interested to see what the Mavs do here as the game goes on.
Yeah, because I think they try to, around 60 or 70 pitches, they try to, start looking at your next guy in the rotation.
I'll tell you, the music selection today is
not
a little bit of country going, isn't it? Yeah. I'm just waiting on, they got, what is that? Mamas don't let your kids grow up to be cowboys. I'm waiting on a little Lukenbach, Texas here.
It's coming. Just give it time. Little highwayman.
That's okay with me.
Me too.
Leading off for Northside will be Jackson Stevens. I'll have the bottom 3 in the order. Stevens followed by Maddox Kincannon, and then your DH, Lucas Calderera.
Leading off the top of the 2nd inning for the Grizzlies, number 7, check that, left fielder number 6, Cash Standard.
Got Jackson Stevens batting. Yeah, they
left fielder.
First pitch is inside.
I don't typically correct that particular PA guy.
He's due for at least one mistake. Yeah,
that's right.
Pitch just a bit inside. 2-0 here.
He's way too good of a driver.
Yeah, and he got good parking. I'll give him
that. Right.
Yeah, there at the Jonesboro game, he got us in there. I think that's where the ambulance usually parks. There's a pitch popped up. It'll be chased over there, and ball's going to go out of bounds. That was Gage Stewart. Heading over, be a 2-1 count on Stevens. Stevens, your left fielder for the Grizzlies. these teams will play again tomorrow. And I'm assuming they've got maybe a JV game today after this.
I hadn't heard anything about that. I think they had practice earlier. That might be us, Keith. I heard it.
This may be the only one then, and they'll go to Hunts Park tomorrow to play second game of this.
Well, I keep hearing that they're not really expecting that game to happen because of the weather, but we'll see how that goes.
There's outside pitch, full count. Well, I don't take much stock in the weather. I've been putting some plants and sod out, and I'm still waiting on the rain. So
That's no kidding.
3-2 pitch down the middle. Here's a fly ball. As Ellis will track it down in left field and makes another nice catch. And that's what I was talking about before the ball game. That's the way to stay with the ball, Parker Ellis. That ball went swirling.
Mm-hmm.
So you're moving back and forth, and
well, you saw him. He lost his hat. So, okay, here we go.
that'll bring up Maddox Kincannon. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of when I played ball. We were playing in the district against Russellville. I was playing in right field. The ball was hit. It was going out towards right center, and I went up to it, looked up. The ball had gone the other way past me. Here's a pitch that's going to be inside, ball one. And I had to reach back. I had to reach over to catch it. I caught the ball and had a nose full of grass and dirt after I did. But that's a scary feeling when you have to reach back over there like that. So
I had a friend growing up. We all played on the same baseball team since we were like knee-high to a grasshopper, and we got split up in a citywide draft, and one of the guys from our team hit a home run, and he went up for the catch, and it bounced off his glove and hit him right in the face and bounced over the fence for the home run. I was like, it's center fielder's nightmare, you know.
Nice pitch by Hal. Strike one. Got a 1-1 count here. Yeah, that's the Jose Canseco. Remember, hit him on top of the head, bounced over the fence.
Yeah, it's about the same thing, except I think it hit my buddy in the forehead.
Do you get an assist on that? Ball outside, too.
Well, I don't know. If you do, it's one you don't ever want.
Grizzlies doing a good job of really working the counts, too, making, getting that pitch count up on Mason Howell. Here's the 2-1 pitch. It's popped up. Looks like Stewart's got a beat on it, makes the play. 2 outs. That'll bring up Lucas Calderera. He's your DH today. I think Lucas did, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he maybe was a linebacker.
Yeah, he's a linebacker.
Good linebacker.
Yeah, he played some linebacker for me, and he was also a fullback for me.
He'll be your 9-hitter here. First pitch inside.
You know who else out here on this field played fullback for me? Isaac Gregory, opposing dugouts.
Inside pitch for a strike. Still trying to figure out the strike zone just a bit. He's a little bit giving some of the corners, and then he's also, there's a nice pitch, and that might have been just off the corner. We'll take that. 2 strikes. 1-2 count here.
That's where you want to live when
you're
pitching against the DH.
That's the thing is, I think Matlock got some calls there off that corner. There's a foul ball that Forsden will try to chase over, along with Peyton Zimmerman. I'll tell you what you do have here, and you've got to really watch it too. If you get a man on first base and you have a pickoff play, if you throw that ball away, there's a chance you can go 1-3 on that.
Yes, sir.
I actually coached at a district one year, 13-year-olds. We played in beautiful Blytheville, Arkansas.
Oh, boy.
And they had there's a nice line drive shot that's taken by Forsden for the 3rd out. And we played out there, and it was the same way. The field, the way it was, it had, if you threw the ball away, you're going 1-3. So I pretty much advised my pitchers. I said, guys, unless you think this guy's going, we may want to hang on to the baseball.
Yes.
A good inning there by Mason Howell. 3 up, 3 down.
Yeah, that's the thing about Mason, man. Once he gets warmed up, he gets going pretty good. And so that inning, you went from 29 pitches in the first inning to 13. It's almost exactly on par with what Northside's Matlock went.
That's good, too, because that'll actually get you maybe an extra inning in here at some point. Yeah. Oh, now we're getting into some music now. We got a little ZZ Top going.
Oh, yes.
course, my wife gives me a hard time because they'll always ask about at the Razorback games what music you want to hear, and I'll holler out Barry Manilow. Here's some Mandy.
Barry Manilow.
Southside here in the second inning. They'll go with Cade Weehunt will be your leadoff hitter, Mason Howell, followed by Blake Forsgren. If anybody gets on, Gage Stewart will bat this inning.
So tell me, what song do you pick then to get fired up when you're going Barry Manilow?
Somewhere in the night, everybody knows that.
All right,
Yeah,
well, we can go with it.
Yeah. I just do it as a joke.
Yeah, that's right.
And I thought you were going to hold me down on that and call out YMCA or something like that for the Village people. It's Cade Weehunt leads off here for the Mavs. There's the first pitch. There's a shot down the right fielder, and he'll make the play. That was Elijah Ferry on the catch. Nice contact, though, by Weehunt. Be one out. Mavs have had one base runner here in the ball game. That was an infield single by Caden Manus. It's Mason Howell now will bat for the Mavs.
Little pitcher crime right here, Keith.
Yeah, what's interesting, too, we look at this, they're going with the DH, and Southside will have their pitcher batting. There's outside pitch, ball one, 1-0 here. From my understanding, too, Southside, talk after this pitch, outside, 2-0. Is next year obviously moved down to 6A in football, but I think everything else is going to be the same.
Everything else stays the same is what I've heard so far.
So I'm not thrilled about that in basketball because I know in the boys, you got Isaiah Sealy, you got the kid from Harbor.
There's no easy games.
Yeah.
That's a certainty.
And Fayetteville had some good ones.
Mm-hmm.
And not to mention Rogers, there's a shot down the line foul. Got a 2-1 count here on Mason Howell.
It's a way to work. One thing I always liked about my pitchers hitting, they usually know how to figure out what a pitcher's going to throw against them. You know what I mean?
I always figured the catcher would be your best hitter. He sees it all day.
That's it. Should be.
Got a 2-1 count here. Here's a pitch by Matlock. Going to be high, 3-1.
And I think that may be why Southside, elects to go without the DH because I think they like to use a pinch runner.
Hal doing a good job here, really working the pitcher, getting that count up a bit. And there's a ball high. Yeah, he's about what I have figured out about this umpire, and I like strikes. So what I do like what he's done so far. I think he's pretty consistent.
Yes.
And if it's waist or above, it's a ball. I've not seen him call a high strike yet.
I've seen him call one, but it's like you said. I mean, it's pretty. There goes your pinch runner right there, Isaac Gregory.
It's a good pick right there.
Yeah. He can fly.
Yeah, I think you're going to probably maybe try to get a steal or two here. Don't be surprised if Matlock doesn't throw over there. Mr. Gregory committed to play football next year for the UCA Bears. One of the best running back combinations with Gregory along with Amari Tucker. There's a pitch. It's going to be high, ball one.
Well, the thing I like about when Isaac gets out there, he gets in that pitcher's head. They got to think about him.
Got Blake Forsgren coming up to the plate. Southside's doing two, though. Let's see if he goes here on this pitch. So there's the pitch. It's going to be a strike on the inside corner. Is you kind of get a feeling out process. And Matlock has a pretty decent move to first base.
Yeah, he does.
Obviously, the key, we know this from watching baseball, coaching baseball, it's that jump you get. It's not, you still on the pitcher, you don't still on the catcher as much.
It.
Unless the catcher can't make the throw down to second base.
Well, if he takes one out of the dirt or something, you might try to get on.
And there he goes. And there's a shot up the middle going to be caught. And that's going to be a double off there. I believe that might have been a hit and run.
That's what it looked like because Isaac didn't even realize until he was on the base.
Well, there was nothing he could do. He was already halfway past down to second base, and just a tough break for the Mavs. Kincannon, what did he do?
Out third base.
What? Oh,
Out third base.
okay. Pop up, wasn't it?
Yeah.
3-2 now. Northside leads here 1-zip. As you alluded to earlier, Terrell, Mason Howe really kind of starting to settle in a bit and kind of get his groove going. And as I said earlier, what I like about him is I like the way he moves the ball around, and he doesn't keep it at one spot. Gets him looking, and
He's got a real good breaking ball too. It's just like right there, just warming up with it right there. I mean, if he hangs that one, he's in trouble. But once he gets that tuned in, that is a tough pitch to hit.
he's done, like I said, he's done a lot of good at really working the corners, and also when he gets 2 strikes on the batter, he'll bring that ball up a little bit high, make it a little bit tougher to hit the ball, which that's what you want a pitcher to do. Yeah,
climb the ladder.
Yeah,
That's it.
you don't want to serve it up.
No, make them elevate their swing.
Back to the top of the lineup.
So Andrew Taylor will bat here for the Grizzlies. He walked the first inning, and is your only run of the ball game. See what Hal wants to start him off with. Ball outside. He kind of went after the bottom of the order, really, in the second inning.
Mm-hmm.
There's a pitch, and there's a shot down the line that's going to go foul. Got a 1-1 count here on Taylor. So far Parker Ellis been busy out there in left field. Made 2 really nice catches. They look like routine fly balls until you see that ball going different directions, and did a great job of really staying with them. There's a shot. It's going to be fielded by Jackson Pruitt. Throws it over to Blake Forsgren for the out. A good job, a nice stretch there by Forsgren.
Second baseman, Mason Kincannon.
They'll bring up Mason Kincannon. He struck out in the first inning. Interesting, that bat, he was looking to maybe bunt the ball. And tell you what, he crowds that plate, though.
Mm-hmm.
First pitch outside. He's got that left foot right on the batter's box line.
Yeah, that last at bat, like you're talking about, it's like he starts off showing bunt.
I got a 1-1 count here. That's a strike.
Then pulled it back. Wasn't even looking bunt.
He's got interesting. Yeah, his stance is a little bit interesting too. And there's going to be 2-1 now as he fakes a bunt. Is he kind of has an open stance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you'll watch, he's got that foot on the inside, but he's got that lead foot
back a little bit.
So he's kind of opened up.
Got his toes on the line too.
Being where he lines up at, he should have pretty good plate coverage.
Mm-hmm.
2-1 count here. There's a pitch, swing and a miss. Hal's got 1 strikeout in the ball game. Actually, it was Kincannon. He struck out in the first inning.
Mm-hmm.
2-2 pitch here. Going to be fouled off. A little bit of a battle here. 2-2 pitch. There it is. Going to be fouled off again. And that's a pretty good job by Kincannon, really.
Just swinging for contact.
It's one of those 50-50 pitches right there nearby. He just tried to put it in play somewhere. There's the pitch. Going to be high and outside. Got a full count here. I'm not so sure that Kincannon was ready for that pitch. Looked like he was in the practice swing. Here's the full count pitch. It's going to be popped up, and going to be Ellis over there and makes the play. It's 3 now for Parker Ellis. Good job, too. What I like about that ball looked like it was possibly in no man's land right there. And Ellis comes up, and you always want your outfielder. He's coming forward. Let him come up and make the play, and that's exactly what called Pruitt along with Stewart off and makes the play.
I was thinking Stewart had a bad read on it, but I think you're right. I think they hurt each other.
There's Martinez. First pitch on the outside corner, strike 1. It's like a pitch just off the corner. A little bit of movement on that ball.
Yeah, he started it off outside and it broke outside.
A little bit outside. Good job by Hainsworth, though, really catching that ball and trying to move it back in. Just a bit outside. Got a 2-1 count here. 2 outs, nobody on. A shot up the middle. Nice bit of hitting there by Martinez. It'll be the second hit of the ball game for the Grizzlies. See what they want to do here with Max Howerton, your cleanup hitter, coming up to bat. Howerton walked in the first inning.
First baseman, number 14.
I'd almost think here in the top, of course, you got your catcher, and they always say catchers are slow. I don't know about Martinez or not, but you always think you try to steal here, try to get in scoring position with 2 outs. You had a pretty good lead there. The ball's outside. 1-0 count here. Then we're to the top of the third inning. Northside leads Southside 1-0. Got a 2-0 count here. They got Xander Reynolds actually as a pinch courtesy runner here at first base. So I guess that the old axiom about the catcher may be true. There's a pitch. Gets the inside corner, strike one. They got a 2-1 count. I think I'm worried about the scoreboard, though. I'm looking out there. You had the first run by Northside, and then you look at the runs total. It's still 0-0 total.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. I was looking at that earlier, trying to figure out what I was looking at on that scoreboard.
It's not like the old days where you had the little metal pieces that you had the nail out there and you had to hang it on the nail. I got to do that at Hunts Park and got poison ivy.
Is that right?
Howerton going to step out of the box here. Got a 2-1 count on Howerton. 2 outs. Man on first. That's Xander Reynolds. Pitch running for Alex Martinez, who had a base hit. There's a pitch, and there's another shot up the middle. Howell slows it down, and nice try there by Jackson Pruitt. Not going to get him. That's 2 hits in a row here, and that Northside doing a good job. I mean, when he's getting it over the plate like that in the middle part of the plate, they're really going back where you should go with the ball. But the key on that thing, too, though, Terrell, is the fact that he slowed the ball down. There wasn't much Jackson Pruitt could do. But the fact is, if he doesn't slow it down, it's probably a base hit anyway.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's certainly almost a finesse play right there. It's like you got to knock it off your glove to Pruitt's glove, and it's just tough.
And a meeting on the mound here.
I guess if there's any saving grace, I was reading about this the other day. If the error goes against him, then it's not an earned run anyway.
On the pitcher?
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that. So Elijah Ferry will step into the plate. He had a base hit the first time, had the first RBI of the ball game. Again, it was runners on first and second. Not a big lead there at second. Here's a pitch outside that's reached, goes fouls. Forrester chases it down.
Yeah, when I read that about errors and pitchers and earned runs and all that, I was like, well, maybe that's why those pitchers have those errors sometimes.
Here's another hit up the middle. There's Jackson Pruitt. Will make the play. Will go to first base and going to call him safe over there because he pulled his foot off the base. That'll load the bases up. We'll give him a base hit on that. Well, the key to that play, too, was the jump that Max Howerton got off first base, because really that would have been a force out if they had it, and I don't think Pruitt really had much of a choice there. But good job, nonetheless, getting down the line by Ferry. He's on first base. Bases loaded now for Cash Standridge, 3 straight base hits. I'm not sure if they didn't call that an error, but I think I'd give him a hit on that.
It's tough.
Wasn't an easy play. We'll go with the Keith Evans scoring here as Cash Standridge steps in. Chance here to open up for Northside. They're going to if you ever fall for the first or third play, I love that.
They can't even do that in Major League anymore, can they?
It kind of reminds me of our coaching over here on the 12-year-olds, and you'll know the girl, Mackenzie Setledge.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure she's playing softball for the Mavs. She had the best move to third base I've ever seen. Ball inside, 2-0 here. Good job by Hainsworth sliding over, making the stop.
Well, I always thought that was kind of interesting, too. I mean, you got a left-handed pitcher that can just about pick off anybody they want at first base. Why? I mean, it should be the same thing for a right-hander at third, you know. But it seemed like that was always a little bit tougher.
2-0 pitch, strike one, 2-1 there. Good job of Hal hitting the strike zone. Yeah, but the thing is, too, is you teach them on third base. You don't need a big lead at
That's
third
it.
base. Yeah, just you get the biggest thing you can do is get your jump once the ball's pitched. 2-1 pitch high, 3-1 here. No place to put him here. And Cass Standridge flew out his first time.
Could use that right here.
3-1 pitch to the inside, and it's a base hit. This is going to score a couple of runs. Zimmerman fields it. He'll get 2 runs, go to third base here, and he'll be safe at third. Jackson Stevens will come to the plate now. That's 4 straight hits for Northside. Tough one for the Mavs on that one. You had a 3-2 pitch, so you're pretty much going to have to put it in there. And give credit to this Grizzly team, though. They've really stepped up here with Martinez and Howerton. Both had hits that were, I mean, he put the ball over the center part of the plate. They did what you should do with it. The tough one was the play that we didn't make.
Right.
Strike 1 to Stevens. Northside leads here 3-0. 3 runs on 4 hits. Actually, it's 5 hits, excuse me. 0-2 here.
So I come back and get 2 strikes in a hurry.
Be a little bit high. Be 1-2. This is where you really like to see a pitcher work. You get 0-2, so you can pretty much, you've got about really 2 pitches you can really play with, and then the third one's what you want to make it happen on. Ball low and inside, outside. 2-2. And Stevens flew out to Parker Ellis in left field, first at bat. Got a 2-2 count here, second and third, 2 out. You know what this is called, don't you? This is all Deuces Wild with Mike Shannon, 2 on, 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yes, sir.
Pitch outside, runs the count to full. You got an open base there, so you don't have to give in to him. Three-two pitch up and high, ball 4.
Well, like you said, I mean, nobody hurt right there.
That's 5 straight base runners to reach, and they've actually done this with 2 outs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You had Taylor actually grounded out to Jackson Pruitt, and then Mason Cannon flew out to Parker Ellis.
Up next, the shortstop.
Big at bat here from Max Kincannon, and actually a big batter here from Mason Howell. Mavs given a pretty good size hole there between first and second base. And
Seen a few get through there.
Yeah, they've had a couple get through. Ferry, I think, hit one in the first inning. Got a 1-0 count here. No place to put him here. That's Kincannon batting. Second pitch on the outside corner, strike 1, 1-1.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure how much Hal likes them lefties, but I sure hated throwing against them.
There's a pitch going to be fouled off. Good job by Ainsworth jumping up there and grabbing the ball. Got a 1-2 count here. Again, Hal in good position here. See what he wants to do. Goes outside. He's really kind of working it, but what's happening is he's really, when he throws outside or high, he's got to get it down just a little bit. But you don't want to groove it or anything, but that's kind of been the difference. And a good eye there by Maddox Kincannon. Just off the corner, full count again. Yeah, in fact, the last two hitters, I believe he had
Yes.
Standridge 0-2, and
I was
then
just thinking that. Two strike counts.
had 1-2 here on, I was on Stevens. Had a 0-2 count here on Kincannon.
I don't want to say this too loud, Keith, but he needs to watch that foot.
You're talking about the batter?
His back foot, yeah. He had it all the way over the line last time.
Yeah. What's interesting how they do that, too, is, the thing is when you had the dirt infield and home plate, you could get rid of that, and there's a walk for another run. They'll bring up Lucas Calderera. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight batters to reach.
That may be the end of the line for Hal. I think he's getting up there above 60.
Well, I think it is because this is the second trip out.
Mm-hmm.
We had the base on balls again, and then some good hitting by Northside have kind of been the difference here as they've opened up a 4-zip lead. So they're going to have Gage Stewart pitch. This is where it gets kind of tough, though, Terrell, is the fact that Gage Stewart, he's coming in from third base to pitch, and yet he doesn't really get to warm up because he's in the ball game.
I used to hate having to do that, but sometimes it's what you got to do.
So yeah, Stewart's got a little pop.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna have a little Alan Jackson playing in the background. Yeah, we get a break here. Why don't you go up there and tell Eddie Norman and Don Tate we'd like to hear some Looking Back, Texas, if we could.
Tell them we're still waiting on one. That's a nice little cutter.
Who the Mavs bring in to play third base? That's Hal coming back out, isn't it? I guess I put him at third base. Just kind of swap there with Gage Stewart. The other thing about this Southside program, too, you've had some good ball players here over the years. And
real good ball player.
you had David Sorg a couple of years ago, and Zeb Allen. Actually, I believe he's the starting outfielder for UCA. Been some good ones over the years. And not to mention Barry Lunny Jr.
I was about to say, what about Lunny? I mean, you got to give that guy a little nod of the cap.
And help me with the name Ty Harpino.
Harpino, yeah.
That was a closer for Texas Tech as Lucas Calderera will step into the plate as your DH tonight. As Gage Stewart will take over the pitching. First pitch. Nice movement there. I guess I'll call that a ball. Well, they've got a strike on there. I didn't.
I think you had it right, Keith.
Yeah, they called it a ball. Yeah, he didn't. He didn't get the right finger up, but I thought it looked like a good pitch. Maybe a bit low. Stewart got some movement on that ball, but you got a 2-0 count here, but you got to know where to put him.
Yeah, I was going to say you can't really pitch around their DH in this situation.
Yeah, if they get a hit here, they'll actually bat around.
Mm-hmm.
There's a pitch by Stewart, outside, 3-0. I believe Colorado probably make him throw a strike here. There's the pitch, and it's on the outside corner.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to what you said. I mean, when you got to come off a position and go straight to the mound, man, you're really just now warming up.
3-1 count here. There's a shot up the middle by Calderera. Ball's bobbled by Wehunt. That's going to score 2 more runs. I got one question on this one, though, and I know the coaches at Northside will be wanting to ask this one.
Back to the top of the lineup, number 18, Andrew Taylor.
Would be the fact that 3-2 was. Well, no, it was a 3-1 pitch. I'm sorry. That was on me. It was 3-1. I was thinking it was 3-2, and I was curious why the runners weren't moving on the play, but it was 3-1.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised he was swinging.
Yeah, it's Andrew Taylor. He'll bat again. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight batters to reach base. Northside a big 5 spot here in the 3rd inning, leads 6-0. Makes it tough, though, when you get behind because it really, as we talked about, it really makes it a lot hitter's advantage. There's a pitch for a strike on Taylor.
Think about fell out of the sky, didn't it, Keith?
Taylor 0 for 1 here. Had a walk in the 1st inning, eventually scored in the 3rd inning. He started this 3rd inning to ground out to Jackson Pruitt. Going to steal. Here's Southside going to throw it down and going to be safe down there.
Good recovery.
Got a 1-1 count here on Taylor.
That runner at third actually ran back to third base, or he'd probably been taken off.
Kind of surprised he didn't. Of course, you always think something's up, and there's a nice pitch. It's going to be a ground ball to Jackson Pruitt. He'll fire it over across the diamond for the 3rd out to Blake Forsgren.
Top of the 3rd inning for the Grizzlies. 5 runs on 4 hits. There were 2 errors. 2 runners left.
Got Mr. Taylor ground out twice to Jackson Pruitt. So we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Southside trails 6-0. A big 5 spot there for the Grizzlies. For Southside, Gage Stewart will lead off, followed by Parker Ellis. And you go back to the top of the order with Jackson Pruitt. And Logan Matlock so far doing a good job. He actually struck out the side in the 1st inning. You had a single by Caden Manus sandwiched in between the strikeouts. And then Southside had an out to start the 2nd inning. Then Mason Howell walked. Had a pinch runner and Isaac Gregory. Blake Forsgren comes up, hit the ball on the head, as you'd like to do, but it was right at somebody as Gregory's trying to steal. He was doubled off first base. Southside going to need to get something going here. What's the pitch count you got there on Matlock?
21.
Very efficient outing so far for Logan Matlock.
Yeah, 12 pitch inning and a 9.
Leading off the bottom of the 3rd.
Gage Stewart will lead off for the Mavs.
27, Gage Stewart.
First pitch, here's a ground ball, short. Fires over to first, and they'll get the out. It's Max Kincannon over to Max Howerton for the out.
Up next, left fielder number 8.
Parker Ellis will bat now. Ellis so far has a big game in the outfield. 3 nice plays. He is first at bat of the ball game. First pitch outside, ball 1. Mavs need to get a little bit going here. Like I said, they've had runners in both innings, just haven't been able to do anything with them yet. Strike on the outside corner.
Yeah, and you got to give Northside credit, man. They've been playing some really good defense behind Ty Matlock.
Well, and the thing, too, is Matlock doing a really good job of getting ahead. And that's been a difference here so far. Ball outside, 2-1. You know, for the Mavs, you're going to be a little bit more selective here, try to get some base runners that get some things going here. You know, manufacture maybe a couple of runs here and work your way back into the ball game. Got a 2-1 count here with 1 out. There's a pitch, swing and a miss. Ellis looked like he maybe pulled off that ball just a little bit.
Yeah, I think he dipped that back shoulder. His barrel of that bat was a little bit below the ball.
Swing and a miss for strike 3. That's 4 strikeouts in the ball game. Now for Mr. Matlock is Jackson Pruitt will come back in. He was the first strikeout victim back in the first inning. The thing I've noticed, too, is a lot of these batters for both Northside and Southside, they like to crowd the plate, but then they have that open stance.
I always thought that let you see the ball better, too. You kind of get both eyes on the ball with that front foot.
Yeah, you say that, too, because there's a lot of theories on how you see the ball better. I know one thing is Rod Carew, the Hall of Famer for the Twins back in the 60s and 70s. Here's this pitch. Nice curveball, drops in 1-1. He used to take tobacco, wrap it in bubble gum. He'd chew the bubble gum, wrap the tobacco in the bubble gum, stick it in his mouth, and it said he was able to see the ball better because he did that.
Really?
Don't know if there's any truth to that or not, but
I don't know.
He was a good hitter. I'll tell you what, he flirted with 400 several times.
Yeah, he knew how to put a bat on the laces, that's for sure.
Got a 2-1 count here on Jackson Pruitt. Mavs trying to get something going here as they trail 6-zip early. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Foul ball back.
Watch out, Keith.
Got to get my guys over here to protect us a little bit. Can't hit the equipment.
That didn't look like they were jumping in front of us. Looked like they were jumping out of the way a little bit, maybe.
Got a 2-2 count here. Mr. Pruitt tries to get something going for the Mavs. They see a curveball here. Yep, and he hangs it a bit. There's a base hit to right center, and let's see if he wants to try to go to. No, he'll take the single. Good job of hitting there by Jackson Pruitt. Be the second hit for the Mavs. As Kate Manus will come up. Okay, now the theory here, as far as from a coaching standpoint, obviously you get down so far you don't want to run to any outs, but you're also at a point, too, where I think that you still may want to try to steal the base, maybe try to get in position to score a run.
Well, there's also the argument of, laying one down just to get out of the double play situation.
Well, the difference here is you've got 2 outs.
I thought we just had one, Keith.
Nope, you had Gage Stewart grounded out, then Parker Ellis struck out. Kind of like I messed up on the
we're
3-1 count.
We're a little rusty on baseball, right?
Swing and a miss by Manus. Got a 1-1 count here, 2 outs. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Southside trails 6-zip here. A big 5-run inning for the Grizzlies in the top of the 3rd inning. In fact, did it all with 2 outs. kind of dropped that curveball in there for the strike. Got a 1-2 count here on Manus. See what the Mavs want to do. And there's a kind of a little bit of a break on it. We'll get the strikeout on Manus. Be no runs, 1 hit for the Mavs. We'll go to the 4th inning. Southside trails 6-zip. Richard's dad that coaches at Northside. Anyway, another buddy, Richard Nixon, they helped me do the trainings. He was telling me this, and we weren't getting paid for it, and I found out Southside guys were getting paid for it, so then we went, well, that sounds familiar. And so anyway, we went to and asked him about it, or I guess we went to Birmingham, they found out the check this week.
Is that right?
We know that. As Mason Cannon will lead off the inning for Northside. He struck out in the 1st inning, had a fly out to Parker Ellis in the 3rd inning, 0 for 2 in the ball game. It's kind of been flirting with maybe laying a bunt down first 2 at bats. First pitch to the inside, going to hit him on the foot. The walks haven't helped, and the hit batsman there for Southside. It's been a tough one. Got 4 walks and then hit batsman. It's 5 free base runners. So Alex Martinez will step up to the plate. He had a base hit in the 2nd inning. Grounded out to Pruitt in the 1st inning. He's 1 for 2 in the ball game. See what Northside wants to do here. He's going to run, takes off, and no throw. Nice jump by Mason Kincannon. I would spend 30 minutes every practice just working on base running.
Tell you what, Kincaid can fly.
Got a 1-0 count here on Martinez. There's a pitch, going to be low outside, 2-0. Getting Martinez 1 for 2 in the ball game. Actually, he's the one that got it started on the 5-run 3rd inning with a base hit. Did a good job, really. Hal had to come inside to him, and he's able to take it back up the middle. There's a pitch, and going to be a fly ball. Wee Hunt tracks it down. First out. Not hit deep enough to advance the runner, as Max Howerton will step into the plate. Howerton 1 for 1 today. He walked in the 1st inning, had a base hit in the 3rd inning. Northside had 4 straight base hits with 2 outs in the 3rd, which led to the 5-run inning. There's a pitch. Had some nice movement. That ball actually looked like it was starting towards the actually over the outside part of the plate, works his way back inside for the strike.
It's pretty.
Nice off-speed pitch. Little cat and mouse going on there. Here's a pitch. It's going to be a fly ball. Wee Hunt going to check it out here. He's got it. They're going to try to go to third on it. Got a chance to get him over there, and he's going to beat the throw. Kincannon gets in there safely.
Right fielder number 9, Elijah Fryer.
Busy inning here for Cade Wee Hunt.
Yeah,
Outfield doing a nice job for the Mavs.
it's just about identical to the hit before.
They did a good job of really having maybe getting the play over there at third base, but the ball just kind of drifted over to right center field and really kind of took him offline a bit. As Elijah Ferry will come to the plate. 2 for 2 in the ball game with 1 RBI. First pitch, ooh, maybe just a bit high. Looked like he was going to have a little break on it and never really had the break. Like I think Stewart wanted it to.
The old non-cut.
But nonetheless, it was right there at the, that's the thing. There's a ground ball that is going to get through for a base hit. Ferry having a big ball game. 2 RBIs, he's 3 for 3. Increase lead up to 7-zip. They'll bring Cash Standridge into the ball up to the plate. Standridge 1 for 2. Flied out to Cade Wee Hunt in the in the second inning. That was in the first inning, and then had a base hit and 2 RBIs. Gonna have a courtesy runner here. Terrell, do you think on the courtesy runner a lot of times is they do this a lot just to get some kids in the ball game?
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of wondering on this one because he just came in for the right fielder, so I think that means the right fielder's got to come out.
First pitch outside. But Ferry's definitely not one you want to take out today, having a big ball game.
know.
3 for 3 with 2 RBIs.
I was trying to figure out what they're doing.
No, I think you can have a courtesy runner. I don't know. I'm not even going to try to speculate because I don't know the rules of high school baseball. And there's going to be a steal. He got a great jump. Going to have an easy steal there. I think he caught Gage Stewart kind of looking in, and actually, I think if Gage had held the ball for maybe just a split second longer, maybe could have turned around and got him at second base himself. There's a pitch outside. Cash Standridge, big base hit in the third inning for 2 RBIs. Three-0 count here. Not sure Cash Standridge wasn't wanting to swing at that 3-0 pitch.
Give him credit, man. He watched that ball all the way to the glove.
Yeah, I think it was with the score being what it is, and there's a ground ball, and it's fielded by Stewart. Those are the fours going for the third out.
Top of the fourth inning, a run on a hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base.
Northside gets another run here. It's 7-zip now. Mavs will have Peyton Zimmerman, Will Hainsworth, and Cade Wee Hunt to bat in the fourth inning. Wee Hunt a big fourth inning with 2 catches in the outfield.
And this football started like you remember he's like good luck. And third like second quarter I tore my meniscus MCL PCL and I still played it.
Leading off the bottom of the fourth inning for Southside right fielder number 15. Peyton.
Yup.
Come over one day,
Alright. I'll let y'all know. Y'all still got my number. Cool.
Going to change the lineup a bit. That is Joe Rogue is in the ball game. They're going to put him, I believe he's in center field. They moved Jackson Stevens, actually still in left field, and they moved Taylor over to right field. The Northside leads here 7-zip. I bet Fury's not happy, though, 3 for 3.
I know. It's kind of like you said, though. I mean, I think they feel like they've pretty much got it squared away.
2-0 count here on Zimmerman. Get a couple of base runners, get a couple of hits, get back in this thing.
Yeah, they might give that a little extra consideration next time.
Ball inside, 3-0 here. Zimmerman struck out in the first inning. Southside has 2 hits in the ball game. There's a pitch on the inside and be a walk. He'll take those 4 pitch walks.
All day long.
Southside, the catcher, number 3.
Will Hainsworth will bat now for the Mavs. You got Hainsworth and Cade Wehunt. They keep this going, then it'll get back up to Mason Howell. Northside going to have a meeting here, see what they want to do. I know when you're the coach, though, and you have a 7-zip lead, the last thing you want to do is have a walk, 4 pitches.
That's right. Yeah, you always want to try to keep that leadoff guy off the base path.
But that being said, too, though, as you get further in the ball game, too, you really kind of want to start watching your pitcher to kind of see if maybe he's getting tired and maybe having to work a little bit harder. And, when you get tired, a lot of times maybe you don't bend into the pitch like you should. Or
take the biggest step.
You lose a little bit of technique.
Also, Maverick fans, the Booster Club merchandise table is open next to the concession stand. Go by and see that new stuff coming in.
Well, Charlie Daniels going in the background.
I'm glad you like good music.
Once again, at bat for Southside.
You were questioning everything I was doing with my Barry Manilow. I know that earlier.
Curious.
I just do that just to get my wife riled up when I do that.
I like it.
She laughs at me. See what Southside wants to do here. First pitch, looked like it was inside. They'll call it a strike. Hainsworth struck out first time. 0-1 here. Maybe see if Southside can string something together here. Second pitch outside. Got 1-1 here. Well, then again, I asked the question, though. I mean, I know that baseball says you shouldn't be stealing here, but then I also think there's a time where, sometimes it's tough to put 2 or 3 hits together. But you also don't want to give up an out, and there's the ball going to be thrown away, and he's going to get the second.
Zimmerman can get there in a hurry.
Well, that's the one that you're kind of disappointed because Howerton's able to get a little bit of a glove on that, but that's one if he don't get a glove on it, it's 1-3. Now we'll get to see a little bit of that cat and mouse now with Maddox Kincannon out there at shortstop, likes to kind of try and maybe sneak in. Got a 1-1 count here on Will Hainsworth. Mavs trying to mount a rally here in the 4th inning. There's a pitch. Going to be just a little bit low.
It's a good eye to swung at that one. That was a good eye.
2-1 count here. They can make Matlock work just a little bit. There's a pitch, and it's going to be popped up. Calling for it will be the second baseman, Mason Kincannon. He'll make the play. 1 out. That'll bring in Cade Wehunt.
Center fielder, number 12, Cade Wehunt.
Then you got Peyton Zimmerman on second base. A strike one. I'm just watching out there at second base. It's almost like shortstop. Maddox Kincannon's patting him on the back as he comes around like, hey, I'm here. You watch him over here, see what he does. Now he'll back up. Which I'm a little bit surprised at right now that he's actually trying to sneak in behind. They're not really getting that big of a lead at second base.
I think he's popping his glove maybe, trying to get in Peyton's head or something. Because you're right. I mean, that's kind of an awkward-looking move.
2 strikes. Choke up just a little bit on the bat and see if we can put the ball in play here.
Yeah, you know what I'd be yelling right here. Base hit, scores 1.
Well, he got in scoring position on the wild pickoff throw. One, two here. Matlock doesn't seem to have he's not getting the break he had earlier in the ball game on that. He threw a couple of curves early in the ball game, but that thing just was almost 60-degree break on it. Now it's kind of hanging there a bit, so.
Doesn't have quite the same snap on it.
He's still relatively low on his pitch count.
Yeah, he's still below 50. The one thing I always kind of wonder, I mean, you know, as a coach, that first, pretty warm ball game.
It's going to be a tough play here for Howerton. Gets back and makes the play. It'll bring up Mason Howell. He had a walk first time.
Number 22, Mason Howell.
That's where you get kind of spoiled at those college games. You kind of watch those pitchers' pitch speed go down over the game. Will they have up there TrackMan, isn't it?
They do too much up there. You got exit velocity. And I saw one the other day, and here's the first pitch to Howell. And let's see. Nope, didn't go. Watching a major league game, and every time a play would happen, it would post on there if something happened for a team. Well, they've got now a 50% chance to win.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, come on, guys, just play the game.
Yeah, they got to put AI in there somewhere.
Yeah, Howell walked the first time. Swing and a miss. 1-1 here. Got 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Southside trails 7-zip.
I think Logan Matlock's still throwing him down that pretty much same speed as he was at the beginning of this game. I don't think he's tailed off much.
Well, he's a tall kid, and so he's able to come down a little bit, and there's a good pitch right there. 2 strikes. He just didn't quite have the break on that curve that he had earlier. Got a 1-2 count here on Howell. Zimmerman on second base. Walk to start out the inning. There's a pitch and a little bit low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. They'll be watching for that curveball here. No, they're going to bring it inside, and good job of Mason Howell fouling that ball off.
It's a way to fight.
Then 2-2 here, 2 outs. It's almost Deuce's Wild, number 22 batting. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. There's the pitch, and there's that curveball. It's going to be a ground ball to Kincannon. He'll throw it across the infield for the out.
Bottom of the 4th for the Mavericks. No runs, no hits, no There's one runner left on base.
Northside will come up here. They'll have Jackson Stevens leading off, followed by Maddox Kincannon and Lucas Caldera. We've got Michael Beaumont over here, and I can't believe he's not in his umpiring uniform.
This game is a little too important to let the AD to come out there and umpire. This is you're talking about. I'm already, depending on who wins or loses today, I'm not liked by that one side of town. I'm umpiring today, and nobody gonna like me. So I got to make sure I stay neutral today.
Yeah, and we go at it again tomorrow too, I believe, at Hunts
How
Park.
about that? So back to back with baseball and softball playing each other, and so that's it's kind of fun. What a day!
Well, our big disappointment is we wanted Michael Beaumont to have his umpire's outfit on because we could have a good time with Michael Beaumont.
You know, it was fun to umpire when it was a non-conference game, and so then it was okay. It was non-conference. I could work third. Nobody would say too much, and after the first couple of times going out there, even some of the guys were kind of like, "Oh, you've done this before." I'm like, "Yes, gentlemen, I have done this before." And but it's a lot of fun. But now it's conference, and it's a little bit different, so I don't want to put any undue pressure on anybody, especially myself.
Well, I understand that too because you can make a call out there and stuff, and it'd be a call that one side might not agree with, and then everybody's going to say, well, Michael Beaumont's for Northside or they're for Southside.
You know, umpiring, that happens sometimes. One side doesn't agree with what I call versus the other side.
Well, not everybody's perfect.
No. I tried to make sure Mrs. Beaumont understands that, but she doesn't believe me. She doesn't believe me. Boy, I really like the way the live stream is today. I got a chance to view it on my phone, and with the camera out in center field, looks great.
Got a strike one here on Jackson Stevens. Yeah, I like the live stream. The kids do a really good job with this.
They do, and I think, one of the things that we had talked about right after the COVID was that you wanted to see this improve, and we're taking small steps, but it's getting there, and I really like the look today. We've got a couple of four cameras going today.
He's four, yeah.
Great.
Got the wireless set up, rocking and rolling. My better half sent us a little bit of a video earlier of it, and it looks really good, yeah.
Looks really good.
Yeah, if they just didn't have the guys that were talking out there, I think we'd be okay.
Yeah. Well, now I found out, though, we need to build a crow's nest out in center field. And
there you
so
go.
We're going to get that done, and we need power out there. Right now we're using batteries, so we're going to get that fixed.
Well, it's a process, too, and we've got a broadcasting class coming up at Southside next year, and really excited about some things we can do. Maybe get some coaches shows going, maybe get some more people involved, maybe get some more, maybe get somebody doing some volleyball games.
Well, I think what we all want is to have every game, televised, whether it's girls sports or boys sports, or whether that's esports or, orchestra, band concert. How fun would it be just to have our kids on TV all the time?
That'd be great.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. We had talked about, as we're watching this count right here.
It's 1-2 count here. Ball outside, 2-2. Jackson Stevens, the batter. Gage Stewart pitching for the Mavs. Yeah, the Southside team is really young.
They are.
Which we kind of equated maybe to, here's a pitch too, it's going to be a ground ball to Jackson Pruitt, throws the long throw across, and nice stretch by Blake Forsgren for the out.
What a play.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of equated, though, Coach Beaumont maybe to the Southside football team this year. You had a lot of sophomores playing early, so hopefully in a couple of years this team will be where you want them to be.
Well, and I think both sides of town are struggling a little bit that with youth right now, and then for sure pitching. You guys have been around this game long enough to know that playing in this conference, if you don't have 3 or 4 studs, you're in trouble.
In Northside's case, too, they've, been without Moody all year.
I know. Oh, and, that kid is for him to be hurt. You all have watched him play and grow up. For him to be hurt and not go out there, something's wrong with that kid. He's hurt.
Right.
Well, I watched him as a 9th grader pitch against Southside.
Well, and anybody that's ever watched him play a football game.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, that kid is
tough.
gifted for sure, and obviously those people up on the hill saw something in him, and they've signed him, and so we want him to heal up. That's for sure. Got
a 1-1 count here, and Coach Bowman, I'm going to change the subject here, and I've got to ask you this: what are your thoughts on John Calipari coming to the Hill?
Well, I won't lie to you. I was a little surprised. I'm excited of Arkansas athletics. I did not think he would be coming to Arkansas. It was not on my radar. But again,
Shot down the line, goes foul.
Hunter always seems to have a plan, and I think that you just have to trust in the plan. And obviously, it's bringing the former Kentucky Wildcat to Arkansas. The problem with the Arkansas fans is that they've hated him for so long, and now you got to love him. I mean, so this is difficult.
Well, I would make some comments on that. What our opinion of him is, but now But if he's yours, he's a great guy.
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah, it just changes everything. And, and what's exciting, too, about baseball, too, is you see how the Razorbacks are doing and what they've done this year. And it really kind of gets a lot more interest in baseball.
100%. I think that, and how has the spring sports on the Hill not really blown up? I mean, the softball team last year was unbelievable, and they're having another good season this year, and baseball has been solid. Pitch out of play, just making sure that doesn't hit my truck. There we go.
Got a full count here, 1 out. Northside leads here at the top of the 5th inning, 7-zip.
7-zip. We're still having trouble with the scoreboard.
Mm-hmm. That's what we were talking about. It doesn't show the score at the end of it. It shows it each inning, and we were talking about that too. Is back when I was a young man a long time ago, we used to have, here's the pitch, 3-2 pitch, going to be a ground ball and going to be fielded, and here's the throw to first base for the out. Good job there by Manus making the play for Southside. Cade Manus on the throw. But we used to have those old scoreboards where you had the old metal pieces, the triangle pieces, and you had a nail.
That's right.
And you had to stick it on there. Well, I got to do that one summer at Hunts Park, and all I got for that whole thing was poison ivy.
I remember doing that, and I got a grape slushy for doing that. That was my payment for the games doing that. That was a lot of fun.
I remember the days you got a slushy out of a ball.
Problem was they'd get mad when you forget to put the score up.
You get into the game, you forget to put a number up. You're looking for a number. Everybody's yelling.
I wouldn't even say you were actually into the game. I think you were just bored by that time.
Well, we had that corrected, but I got to go upstairs and figure out what's going on with that.
Ball outside. 2-0 count here on designated hitter Lucas Calderera.
I was at softball earlier, and so I missed the start of this game. Who has been on the bump for both teams today?
Well, it's been Logan Matlock's for the pitcher. Really saw the ball game. There's strike one for Northside.
Okay.
And then they started Mason Howell for Southside. Now we've got Gage Stewart came in and relieved him. Yeah, Northside had a big third inning. They actually had 7 straight batters reach with 2 outs.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
There's a low pitch outside, 3-1.
What do you guys think of the park here?
I love it.
I'm a fan of the half turf and half grass.
Me too.
I just love the grass.
Yep, me too.
And it just gives you that just little natural feel. And
there's a base on balls. Yeah, what we were talking about, though, was we've noticed it with a lot of kids out here. They really like to get close to the batter's box, out of the batter's box. Yeah. And you can't hide here because,
no, sir.
In the older days, you could go in there and you could actually scratch it out.
Get that chalk up a little bit.
Get it up, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Get messed up. Now you can't do that.
We'll have to explain to a lot of the youth. You had chalk that you used to put on the lines. That's how we did it back then.
As Andrew Taylor will step in.
Well, I miss dirt, but I sure don't miss it on the day when it rains.
No, that's the great thing about this. No matter what the weather, those kids can always take some kind of BP, some kind of groundwork. You can do something every day.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have a pitch out here. Taylor comes up. He walked the first inning. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game. Grounded out twice to Jackson Pruitt. See what Northside wants to do here. Yeah, Coach, we were talking about Southside. I really like the fact they've not really been able to show it today, but I like that playing station to station where
I do too.
We called it Whitey ball. Whitey Herzog 100%. Back with the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Lay a bunt down. Razorback game the other day, they put that shift on. They have no third baseman. Lay a bunt down.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
That's that small ball. I like that.
I like small ball. Don't depend on 2 or 3 hits in a row. Of course, you get yourself in a situation where you're down 7-zip, and then you really kind of take yourself out of the running game.
Yeah, that one or 2 runs doesn't make as much difference in the outcome.
That kind of makes you want to try to get something back at all one time. But what a crowd today! How about this?
I know it.
House.
Love it.
Well, beautiful day to come out for a baseball game, and I know it's been an interesting day. You had the eclipse earlier in the day, and there's still the second base by Calderera.
We did have that today, didn't we?
Yeah.
It wasn't Didn't last very long.
No.
I didn't get full here anyway. It was only, I think, 98% or something.
Yeah.
So
The last time I saw it, we were in Knoxville, Tennessee, and we were in the pack totality, and we had all the Lady Vols out to the head coach's house and watched it, and it got dark, man. It was dark. But it was kind of weird today. It was got a little cloudy, and I only got sunburn on 2% of my body, so that was nice.
Yeah, I'd like to see how many people actually showed up, like in Mena, Arkansas, Russellville, Little Rock.
Well, it's funny you say that.
It was
Nice
insane.
pitch there.
Yep, 2-1 here.
where'd you come from?
I have one team that was going to go on the road today, and that was the Northside soccer team. So I've been keeping an eye on the traffic. They were going to Bentonville West, but I was seeing all the traffic that was south.
It's south of us mainly, yeah.
Here's a 2-1 pitch. Going to be a ground ball to Jackson Pruitt. He'll field it, fires it across, and let's see. I believe
Yeah, thought he got him.
that's coming from an umpire.
Thought he got him.
Yeah, it was
Bang, bang, play.
bang, bang, but nice play. Pruitt's had a good ball game at short
Yeah, he
today.
has.
Yeah, that traffic was. So we had to make sure. I had some parents worried that going to put their kids on the road, and most of the parents know that I treat their kids like my own. Wouldn't jeopardize anybody's safety. So we made sure before they took off and checked the RDOT cameras and was in communication with the traffic control, and we sent them on their way, and so they were good.
If you went down 71 South, I imagine you're probably bumper to bumper down there.
Oh, I heard it was packed.
Well, the interesting thing, when we were coming home, we were coming up 71, and luckily we were taking a little bit of a detour, kind of sightseeing thing anyway. But when we were coming into Fort Smith, like right before you come up the big hill,
Right.
you got the light at the interstate, and I think a lot of it was interstate traffic. But when you're coming up that hill, man, it was bumper to bumper all the way down the hill. I mean, I don't know how it looked, actually getting into Fort Smith, but I mean that was right after totality. I mean, it was minutes after.
I just wish I had one of those $4,000 bed and breakfast places that they were
About that.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, they were. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the term a heat map, but it shows like activity in different geographic location, and they were showing throughout the U.S. all of the Airbnbs that had no vacancies. Man, it was really, really interesting to look at.
It's amazing when something happens like that. The price kind of goes up.
Goes up, yeah.
Not sure what that's about.
What's that supply and demand?
Yes, supply and demand.
Yeah, for the Mavs this scene, they'll have Blake Forsgren leading off, followed by Gage Stewart and Parker Ellis. Coach, next year is going to be different, obviously, with Southside moving down to 6A, and was able to talk to Coach West. I saw him out the other day and found out that we got the good schedule this year. We got both Little Rock schools coming down, and we only have to go to Lake Hamilton.
Well, and that was one of the things I wanted to make sure when we went to the conference meeting and dropped the schedule. I did not want to go to Mountain Home and Lake Village all in the same year. We wanted
Thank
to kind
you
of
for
split
that.
it up. Yes, sir.
Well, I think what we should do is maybe Mountain Home, here's the first pitch by Matlock, going to be a strike. But Mountain Home, let's do a 2-year schedule where we play 2 years at home, and then if we jump up next conference, it'll be all good.
Let me tell
like
you,
that.
if you have not been up that way in a long time and you're on a big yellow dog, I do not want to be sitting back in the back of the bus because those kids in that ride, they need to go a couple hours early just to get their feet back under them. That's a hilly ride.
It's a long way.
It's 1-1 here on Forsgren. Forsgren doing a good job. He'll be your quarterback next year probably for the Mavs. Really like what I saw too, Terrell, from him, and when he got little bit he got to play. Looks like he's got command out there, and has a pretty good arm. So I think Southside's in good hands at quarterback next year.
I do too. I like that kid out there, and I think he's going to do some good things.
Pretty good first baseman.
Yeah, he is.
His daddy was a good baseball player. Grandfather, a longtime coach for the boys club.
Right.
Did a lot for the community. Got a 2-1 count here on, actually 2-2 count on Forsgren. Bottom of the fifth, Southside trails 7-zip. Need to get some base runners here. Here's the pitch, and going to be strike 3 as he misses the high pitch. That's a good 2-strike pitch by Matlock.
Well, he set him up for that nice, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were talking about Matlock, though. The thing we noticed is his curve was dropping off the table at first. Now it's kind of hanging a little bit now. And, maybe Southside might take advantage of that, but he doesn't seem to have lost any velocity.
No, he reared back, and that was a fastball up around the eyes, and that was a tough pitch to stay off of right there.
Coach, what's Northside been doing with the absence of Moody pitching-wise? What have they been doing?
It's been, I think, by committee, and so they're trying to help with the rotation to keep at least looking to see who you're playing. So now you got a whole lot more strategy that goes in. You kind of figure out, all right, who pitched the game before you, who should you see on the mound? Is it going to be a lefty or is it going to be a righty? Who am I going to pitch then to counter that? And if I have to go to a second man, who do I count? And so you got to look at the schedule. So these coaches, there's a whole lot of planning to just saying, hey, go out there and throw hard. There's a lot more to it.
There's a swing and a hit fly ball. It's in the gap. Let's see. Going to be chased down. That was Joe Rogue making the play.
Boy, and this is a big old park right here now. You're going to drive something out. You're going to have to really get a hold of it.
Yes.
It's a big old park.
Parker Ellis will step up. This is another sophomore for the Mavs. And the thing, too, Coach Mintero, we're talking about this, is the fact that we've seen some fly balls hit, and you might think you're in the right spot.
That's
and Ellis has done a good job of really locating a couple of they look like they're going to be simple catches, but the wind got a hold of it, moved it around, but he stayed with them.
Lost his hat on the first one.
Parker struck out his first time. He's got a 1-0 count here. Outside 2-0. Yeah, you go up to Northwest Arkansas, and we kind of saw it in basketball, and I was really kind of disappointed in Northwest Arkansas basketball in the playoffs this year. I thought they'd do a lot better than what they did, but baseball-wise, you get up there and you see the facilities and everything they have. It's just tough to compete up there sometimes.
They got a lot of kids, and like I said, you all know this. You've been around the game. When you got 3 or 4 kids that can throw it, you're in good shape if you got a bunch of pitchers.
I always laugh too, and I'll kind of tell this story. Got a 2-0 count here on Ellis. Is David Lloyd, the longtime coach, Van Buren Southside coach, was telling a story. He always liked playing Little Rock Hall and some of those guys because they didn't have gloves. So
that's a good advantage right there.
Yeah, so you knew you had a chance if they didn't have gloves to.
The Ellis kid just got a little base on ball. Does he play left for Southside?
He's left field.
Yeah, I tell you what, that kid, you guys are right. He can track down some.
He's had some big ones tonight.
I'm going to start calling him Hoover. Every time there's a ball in the air, that kid will suck it up right there. Now, he gets it done.
And I tell people this, and I hate to admit it. My wife told me not to say it anymore, but I actually coached his dad. Here's a shot down the line. It's going to be a base hit for Jackson Pruitt. Pruitt 2 for 3 in the ball game.
The kid's a gamer too, isn't he?
And the funny thing, I actually coached his dad too at one time.
Next for the Mavericks, second baseman, number 18, Pete Manus.
Peyton Manus will step up. He's 1 for 2 in the ball game. Got an infield single along with a strikeout. Here's a chance for the Mavs. Maybe get a gapper here or something. Maybe get a couple runs in and maybe put a little pressure on.
Now, I didn't have their dads, but I did have Caldera, Moody, and Isaac Gregory.
Well, there you go. Same thing. You got a lot of kids that you guys have seen grow up. Ooh, there's a pitch right there.
He strike 1 on Manus. Yeah, Matlock kind of reared up and just fired that one in there to get ahead. And that's the key, too. We were talking about this, and Will McIntyre made this point for the Hogs. Get ahead. Get that first pitch in there. It changes the whole dynamic. There's a ground ball foul, 0-2 here.
And as a batter, you kind of learn that, that pitcher likes to get ahead in the count. He likes to start off with the fastball. So I'm sitting on one right off the bat.
Yep.
There's a lot of times you may coach say, hey, take 1 or 2, kind of get your feel. Especially with 2 men on, 2 outs. He didn't want to load the bases.
Nope.
He wants to go ahead and just chunk one right in there.
Well, that's kind of the deal, too, with McIntyre. 3-2 pitch. We got a lead. I don't care if you throw it down the middle.
That's right.
Make them earn it.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And the kid almost did. He hit it 400 feet away, but right at center field, right at the wall. 2-strike pitch, and a good job there by Manus to foul the ball off, staying up there. And Coach Bowman, I'm really excited, too, about everything that's happening here with our broadcast and everything, and it's just going to get better, once we kind of get the feel for things. And, maybe do a few more baseball games, get some other people involved in it, and we get some names of some people. I know like Coach Pogue helped us one time.
Right, that's right.
And a lot of fun doing it with him. We got to tell a bunch of stories on each other and had a good time, and just kind of get some more people involved. And
Well, I think that you could probably talk Dameron into coming out here, or Stuart Adams, or Brunk. But if you wanted an athlete, you probably need to go to Natalie. That'd probably be those three. I mean, if you probably need to go to Coach Throneberry if you want an athlete. You're going to probably go to one of her.
I'd love to get Brunk on basketball sometimes because he knows exactly what should or shouldn't happen.
That kid sees the plays before they happen, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
It's a nice pitch. That's just a little bit off.
I think this Southside girls team is, they've got some young girls that are going to be better next year. And same with Coach Adams. I just tell Coach Adams, man, I wish you could get a little bit of size.
I think both of them are just missing. They're just missing a couple of size pieces, and it's hard to have one person to be the ball handler. That fatigue sets in, boy. That just wears you out, especially with the way our conference likes to press.
That's what we were talking about earlier, man. Such a tough conference.
It is.
I mean, there's not an easy game.
That Springdale team looked like they had 6 girls out on the floor.
Oh my Lord!
Watch out.
Got you right there.
We're not worried about us. Worried about the equipment.
That's right.
I'm about to say, I'm going to throw myself in front of the equipment. I love both of you two, but I'm going to make sure our cameras don't get hit.
I thought I'd read something. I think you can actually get some clear netting.
I have seen
where you
this
can get
before.
the camera back,
Yeah.
but I know that's the only thing that I noticed in the live broadcast that's kind of distracting is you don't have those
bat here
cameras
by
set up.
Caden Manus.
Yeah, 8 pitches so far.
3-2 count.
He's been at the plate here for a minute.
Mm-hmm. That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Matlock, at the beginning of this inning, had 56 pitches.
Oh, wow, 56 and what, 5?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mavericks, they're sitting at about 90
Yeah.
between 2 pitchers, but pulled the trigger on that one.
Nice pitch.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And I tell you what, if I'm the kid at the plate right there, I'm not sitting on a curveball. 3-2, can't load the bases.
Well, yeah, and that's a tough call right there to
is.
throw that curveball on 3-2.
Right.
Yeah, you got to feel like you've got command of that. That dropped in.
Yeah, it's a nice pitch.
Southside had a bit of a threat there, not able to get any runs out of it. But you couldn't ask for a better day for baseball.
It's a great day for baseball, and if we'll go back to just talking what you were talking about, how the live stream and the improvements you guys have been making and the camera work we're doing, and now I see a whole lot more kids involved. If there is anybody out there listening that, the next step for us, I think is going to be to start having commercials and commercial breaks and those kind of things, and then that gives an opportunity for our local people to advertise, maybe drive some business their way, and maybe can help subsidize some of the extra things that we want to do. I would say they would help pay you guys, but I know you're still waiting for that check from the athletic director. It's in the mail. It's in the mail. It's in the mail.
Where you parked at?
Well, I tell you, I'm way on the other side of campus today.
Well, we talked about this too. We talked about all the people at Southside that give a lot of time, like your Eddie Normans, your Don Tates, Georgia Castling, what she does.
Oh, yeah. If you don't have people like that, and that's been the blessing that I have noticed when I came to this district just a few years ago, is we have a lot of people, regardless of what uniform you wear, that just wants to do things for kids, and they just do.
I start at Northside. Obviously, you start with Buzz Sawyer, what he's done for Northside. I've got to get with Buzz though, because at some point I want to take that nice sweet van he's got. He takes the games. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Now, I think during the day it's got a
Different logo on
It's got
it.
a Sawyer siding and magnet on it, but it's nice to go to games in.
Well, the thing about Buzz, though, he told me the only bad thing about that is he has to drive.
Well, that's probably true. That's probably true. I'm not sure if I'd trust that van with anybody else.
Mason Buchanan will lead off for Northside. He's 0 for 2. Was hit by a pitch last time as Gage Stewart still in the ballgame for the Mavs. Buzz is a good guy, though. He does
a lot for the community, doesn't he?
Yes, he
Just like
does.
you two.
We enjoy it. It's one of these jobs we get to do that you get to go places that you normally wouldn't get to go to. And if you'll notice, we can talk, so that's always a good thing.
That's a good thing. It's a good thing. Get a picture of you guys doing a little work right there and put that on America's Most Wanted right there. See if I get a hit. Could be Get a little ball game action today.
I might get paid anyway with reward
That's
money.
right. That's right.
Got a 2-1 count here on Kincannon. We watch Kincannon. He's actually a little bit further back, but his stance is interesting in the fact that he's got that left foot right on the line, but then he opens up the lead foot.
You see it a lot more with right-handers, but I guess,
Yeah.
same concept.
Because we're old school, though, Tara. We teach the bunt. Here's a ground ball, and there's a ball down the line going to be fair. Let's see if he wants to try to go two. Yeah, he's going to go two here. Ball's picked up. There's a throw
that's a pretty
down,
good
and let's
shot.
see.
Wow.
Ooh,
It's a good play.
Mm-hmm.
It's a close play right there.
that's a nice throw
Yeah.
by Manus.
But you guys have been around the game for a long time. You saw that stance open up for the lefty. You see all kind of stance. You see kids moving bats around. You see all this stuff. But at the end of the day, when the pitcher comes set and is getting ready to deliver the plate, everything comes back to center. That foot squares up. The body squares up. Everything comes back to where we all want it to be.
I always like to tell those guys, like, even if you're not swinging, you still need to take that front
Dang
foot and
right.
step it.
Now watch that ball in
Time
the
it
mitt.
Yep.
It's definitely in it. The frustrating thing for me, and I know it's all changed, game's changed, and I'm a dinosaur when it comes to a lot of it, but when you bunt the ball, square those feet towards the pitcher.
100%.
You got a better view. Ball outside.
You teach it, watch it right to the bat, and off you go. Now that lefty, he's trying to get an extra step. He's trying to lay that bunt down and get moving.
That's right.
Kincannon gets his lead off second. Here's the inside pitch.
I think the Kincannon kid, I think he signed with the Rich Mountain, I think. Is that right? I think he signed to go play somewhere.
Yeah, I believe his daddy actually has coached quite a while, was maybe Fort Smith Christian for a while, then has worked with the Sportsman quite a bit.
Yeah.
So nice background there. So Alex Martinez is your batter right now. He's got, let's see, he's actually 1 for 3 in the ball game. He's the young man that got it started for Northside on that big 5-run third inning.
Well, and you two, maybe you all had a chance to see or had a chance to meet Coach Johnson yet and then kind of see what he's doing with the program?
I have. He actually showed me a pretty cool video of some of the tournaments that he's been to before, and really good guy to talk to. Nice to get to know him early,
A lot of baseball knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he does not lack for energy if y'all hadn't
No,
noticed that yet.
No, that was a lot of the videos I watched.
100%. 100%. And he will get these guys back to where we all want Southside baseball to be. Coach Hankins is trying to get things going on the other side of town too, but both struggling a little bit this year, but bouncing back. Second half of the season coming up.
Well, they've got that baseball academy going right
Yeah, I
now.
really
That's
like
big. Yeah, there's a shot down the.
Yes, it is.
Going to be a tough play here for Ellis. Goes back, makes a nice move on the catch for the out.
You say a tough play for Ellis. I think that's one of the easier ones
Well,
he's made today.
He just makes it look
Yeah.
easy, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think the last time.
Well, I'll tell you what he
got out
did.
Same hit.
This is as far as stress and everything. That play was easy, and the reason it was easy, but you see what he did when the ball was hit? He took 2 steps
Yep.
back.
Yeah.
You always teach a kid to step back because
First
if you
step back
step
on a pop
forward,
fly.
I mean,
Yeah, that's right.
that's 2 steps you've already lost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's
Max
a lot
Howerton
easier.
will step in.
A lot
Here's
easier
a
to
fly
run
ball.
forward.
Going to be chased down and a nice diving try. It was Peyton Zimmerman tries to make the play. He's not able to. It'll be a single for Howerton.
Howerton, quite the bowler. He was
Really?
one of our state champions in bowling for the north side of town. And in fact, he is now the stepson of Southside's very own Coach Presley on the football field.
Oh, we dang.
Yep.
Now, do you know Jordan Mosby?
Yes.
So Jordan came up to me earlier. He used to be one of my catchers.
Oh,
Did a little pitching for me.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it's good to see him.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he got hurt in football, man. I hate that for him.
Yeah.
I told him that I was like, lucky you don't really need a leg to bowl. So,
That's right.
He loves some bowling, though.
Coach, here's where you got to get on your coach at Northside is you had Elijah Ferry. He was 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs.
Pulled him.
They pinch ran him last time he got on base. I'm thinking, Coach, I'm 3 for 3. You can't take me out. As Joe Rogue will bat here. First plate appearance. They're going to steal second here. Going to throw down and
Nothing on. that young Hainsworth behind the plate today?
Yep.
Yeah, Hainsworth's done a good job.
Yeah,
Yes, he does a good job.
Does a good job of moving in front of the ball and actually turning the glove down.
He does. I like his footwork back there. It's a nice pitch.
Nice drop-in pitch. Yep. Stewart's done a good job since he came in, Terrell.
Yeah, he has. He really hadn't had any of those really high pitch count innings either.
Coach Baumbaugh, we were talking about with Gage Stewart, he struggled just a bit coming in, but you know, he's coming in from third base. He doesn't have a chance to really warm up and get in the ball game, and he's kind of settled down here. And Northside hasn't got much on him since then. They scored 1 run. Threatening here with 1 out. So he 1-2 count on Rogue. Good 2-strike pitch.
Yeah, it was.
It's a good pitch right there.
I was just thinking, man, he just needs to be smart right here with 2 strikes.
Yeah, not going to give up anything to score a bunch of runs. I've got first base open. You got 2 outs. If I can get him to chase one, I think that's what he wanted, trying to put it outside. I'd go with a curveball back outside again.
Yeah, his curve's nice.
I think he did go with the curve just a little bit inside. It's going to be foul. That's what I have liked is the science of pitching here today is we're getting to see things. We've seen a lot of high pitches when you get 2 strikes, working things around, and somebody's taught these kids well.
Yeah, I think that our guys that are in charge of pitching on both sides of town trying to teach these kids that there's situations to everything, and this game just lends itself. That's just baseball.
I've got this idea, though, Coach Beaumont, how we could get some baseballs if you'll have somebody do it is I go to some Razorback games, and I was thinking about having somebody set in a lawn chair out in the parking lot. I bet they foul 15, 20 baseballs. It's nice at bat by Rogue. He's going to hit a fly ball. It's going to be a tough play here, and a good job coming in, not able to make the play. For Southside is Cade Wehunt, and that'll score a run.
Well, he had a long way to go right there, and just couldn't put the brakes on to make the play.
Well, what's tough about that play, too, is the fact you're right. He had a long way to go, but when you're running like that, you're coming full speed, is that earth's going up and down.
Yeah, dang right.
Ask Carson Shetty about that.
Yeah, they'll give him an error on that, but that'd be a tough error. As Cash Standards will step into the plate. Cash 1 for 3 in the ball game, had a big hit for 2 RBIs.
Nice pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Now the Shetty boys ended up, they all went to the next level of play, didn't they?
I think that's right.
They had a good little run at Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were talking about Southside has, you go back and they're going to try to steal third here, throw the ball down. He's going to be safe. Got a good jump. Be second and third again here with 1 out. As you look at Barry Laney Jr.,
Right.
he had Ty Harpino just a few years ago. Did really good at Texas Tech. And Zeb Allen, I believe he's a starting outfielder for the UCA Bears now.
Now, Harp's son is playing in the league right now, right? Or is he done at Tech?
He's done at Tech, so he would be in the league, yes.
Yeah.
Pitch inside. This umpire's had a good strike zone. It's pretty much anything above the waist has been a ball, and done a pretty good job of calling the corners.
I've seen he's been pretty consistent, so, I mean, that's a nice pitch there, and what a play.
And there's a base hit. This will probably score 2 runs here. Got a chance at the plate. No. Get 2 more. Base hit by Cash Standards. Standards, a big ball game, has 4 RBIs now.
That kid's got a good bat.
It's a big kid.
Yeah.
2 for 3.
And I think he's just a youngster now. He might be at 9th grade.
Is that right?
I think so. I think Standards is 9th grader. Let's see if I can get the scoreboard working right.
Jackson Stevens will step to the plate. You got 1 out, 2-1 count here. Here's the pitch, and a nice curveball from Gage Stewart.
Yeah, that's that cutter. It's been working for him all night.
That's a nice pitch, too, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Comes out of his hand nice, and it's real deceptive, and then it's on you.
You can swing all you want. You're not touching
right.
it.
You know, Stewart's done a pretty good job, too, of really changing speeds. Kind of mixing it up.
going to talk about something. Looks like Coach Hankins is talking to the umpire, and I think they had a conversation earlier, and it looks like he's asking, do you put 2 eggs when you make your cake, or is it 3 eggs?
I was
I
kind of
wrote
wondering.
down 2 eggs.
I was kind of wondering, is he calling himself for batting out of order? Or like,
That's what he was.
There we go.
Checking. Yeah, going to make a little change there.
I think he's trying to figure out maybe if he wants to maybe make the change, but can you keep the starter in the ball game? Well, I know what he's doing. Xander Reynolds has actually pinch run before.
Yeah.
So this will be his second time.
Nice pitch.
2 strikes now on Jackson Stevens.
So that's his second time. When he comes out, this time he's done for the day, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Stevens 0 for 2 with a base on balls. Fly ball out, and Zimmerman will make a run, makes a nice catch.
Hey, what a play. See the Indian right there? No?
It's 2 outs.
Just 2 outs, okay. It's a nice catch there in foul territory.
no Zimmerman, he's a baller now.
That kid only knows one speed, doesn't he?
That's for sure.
Oh, wow.
Well, and I always thought Carter was kind of the same way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah, a little bit earlier, we got to see Isaac Gregory pinch run, and
He can fly.
Yeah, you don't think Coach Johnson liked having that addition to the team. You thinking, I'm going to pinch run you every time I get a chance.
the frustrating thing was he had a really good jump to go to second base, and Forsgren hits a line drive. Yeah. Easy double off, but I mean, that basically I think it was a hit and run that Southside had called. Going to be a straight steal here, and he's going to get in. Xander Reynolds gets to second base.
Just got to make sure that Isaac, he's got to tell him every game, man, this is no contact. I know you all watched him in
Yes, sir.
football. He was not one to shy away from contact. In fact, that kid would run towards people. I'm
Yes.
like, good Lord.
Yeah, he'll take out a catcher in a heartbeat.
The truck.
It's Maddox Kincannon batting. He is almost over the line. Pretty close.
Nice little
Got
cut.
a strike there. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game with a walk. Coach, we were talking too. One thing we like the Northside jerseys, but what we really like is the state of Arkansas
Yeah, that's
on the back of
slick.
the jersey.
Isn't that cool?
That is slick.
There's a ground ball to Jackson Pruitt, fires it over for the out.
Yeah, I would tell you that I had something to do with that, but all I do is just approve the ideas that these guys come up with, and that looks really good. I like it.
I thought it was pretty slick.
Yeah, it is.
Northside up 9-zip here.
Gentlemen, I'm gonna grab this gate. Appreciate what you all do, and I'm glad that y'all got a chance. What a day today! Now tomorrow's baseball. Ooh, it's gonna be a little iffy tomorrow. We'll see what the rain does or what it doesn't do. But appreciate what you all do, and have a great rest of the night. Now there's some talk that Buzz was going to call you about the next softball game, and that maybe we could have you and Buzz maybe square off against the Northside and Southside pitchers for charity.
Ooh, I like that.
Just take a couple of swings at the plate. I thought it would be great. I thought
Yeah.
it would be great for them. I told Buzz to make sure, let me know if we're going to do that, because I'll need to make sure that Miss Sherry and Brad Duplantis are there in case one or both of you throw your back out. That I want the athletic trainers
Well,
to be there and around.
Yeah, speaking of that, me and Buzz tried to run the 40-yard dash. We were doing the Jeff Williams show after the game.
My goodness.
We tried to do the 40-yard dash. I got about 50. Buzz finished it. God love him, he finished it.
Sure.
I was about 15 yards into it, and the back went out.
I
So,
remember
yeah.
the back and the hamstring start
Yeah.
screaming, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
I get it.
Well, the only guy I was asking, what are you doing, was Coach Williams walked in there, and I can't say what Coach Williams had to say about us, but it was
I believe it. I believe it. Gentlemen, appreciate you guys so
thank you,
much.
Coach.
All right, now.
Thanks for being here with us.
Right fielder number 15, Peyton.
I can't hear anything in here. I'll hear it. I think when we hooked the other one up, it lost my. I could just take his, I guess.
Yeah, but then there's still going to be 3 live. The solo button was hit, so it muted everything else, and it chose just one headset, which I think is that one right there.
So we need this one.
That one. Y'all should be good now.
So we go to the bottom of the sixth inning for Southside. Leading off will be Peyton Zimmerman. Zim made a nice catch last inning. Whew, ball inside. Yeah, sometime we're going to have to go find Coach Beaumont in his truck. He'll have to go take a shot, buy some pizza.
I like that. I just like he told us that the check was in the mail. So
Nice pitch on the inside. You got a 3-1 count here. I'll tell you, Logan Matlock doing a good job for the Grizzlies tonight. Very efficient.
I think he's got less than half of the pitches of the Southside squad.
3-1 count here. There's a base hit for Zimmerman. Zim will be 1 for 2 in the ball game. Has been on base twice with a base hit and a walk. As Will Hainsworth will step in. Hainsworth 0 for 2 in the ball game. Cade in the first inning and then fly out to the second baseman. Mason Kincannon in the fourth. Let me see if the Mavs can get something going here. First pitch inside corner for a strike. Oh, what Matlock's doing too, Terrell, is the fact that you get a 9-0 lead, you start pumping strikes in there.
Absolutely, yeah. Hadn't really seen him throw that cutter as much, but he's still throwing gas, man.
There's a pitch, and the ball's going to be hit, and a good job by Matlock. They're going to get him out at first base. And I'm not sure Hainsworth thought that might have been foul, but
yeah, he sure didn't really run it out, did he?
that was a good play, though, by Matlock getting over there. And actually, you know, if I got a 9-0 lead, I want to try to keep that baby fair and make the play if you can.
Yes, sir.
So
yeah, he called that one right.
that'll bring Cade Weehunt up to the plate. Weehunt 0 for 2 in the ball game. Got Zimmerman on second. First pitch will be outside. You know, Coach Beaumont's right, too, about you look at probably some of the teams that we go up against here in the 7A West. As good as what we saw in basketball, I can't imagine what baseball's like.
Well, I was watching some of their JV games a few weeks back, and like Bentonville West, I mean, they basically had 2 JV teams on their JV team. I mean, they actually called the game early so that they could play a second one with their backup team. I mean, it was.
So they're kind of like the South Carolina girls basketball team.
Yeah.
Somebody said they could probably take their second team and win. Here's a
still
nice
win it.
curveball. I'll tell you what, Matlock doing a good job of dropping that curveball in. Be strike 2. It's 1-2 here, 1 out. Southside has a man on second base, Peyton Zimmerman. And it's Cade Weehunt need to choke up here just a bit, guard the plate. I'll be watching for that curveball. He's been dropping that curveball with 2 strikes. And there it is again. Good job of fighting that one off by Weehunt. I know the Northside coaching staff going to have to be extremely pleased with the job that Matlock has done because, you know, you probably play 2 or 3 ball games in a week. You don't want to tax your pitching out. Ball outside. 2-2 on Weehunt.
Well, and the less you got to get into your bullpen, the more you got tomorrow night, you know, or Friday, whenever they end up playing that one. It's good at bat here for Weehunt.
Swing and miss. But you're right, it was a good at bat. Worked it pretty good. But that being said, Matlock doing a good job of really kind of mixing his pitches up a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's kind of gone back to that cutter we saw him go away from for a while. He's figured out how to get the snap back on that thing.
That's an effective pitch because you see that thing coming up there, and then all at once that bottom, Hagen Smith for the Hogs.
Yeah.
I think actually may have learned that from Cops. There's a hit, hard ground ball to second base. Kincannon will field it, fires over to first for the 3rd out.
That's the ball game, ladies and gentlemen. The concession stand is open. 2 of our
That'll be your ball game.
in about 30 minutes.
We were curious how many innings we might play tonight.
Yeah, it's I've seen them play a few 9-inning games, but I think these conference games must be 7 innings.
Well, that one went 6. If I was reading
Kinda
the scoreboard right.
interesting,
Yeah. But nonetheless, it was a one of those games to not give credit to Northside. Did a good job. Really got it going in the third inning. They had 7 straight guys reach base, scored 5 runs, and that was with 2 outs. Able to get a few more runs, but then a good job of pitching by Logan Matlock really kind of was the difference in the ball game. Southside didn't really get a lot going in the ball game, and again, credit Matlock for that, but also give credit too for Gage Stewart coming in. I thought did a pretty good job in relief for Mason Howell. Howell kind of struggled early, and I think that kind of was a difference maker. You know, you talked about it, Terrell. He kind of calmed down in the second inning, but then, boy, you get the 2 outs, and it just seemed like Northside kind of teed off on him a little bit there.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, the one thing you saw the Mavericks kind of do there towards the end is they started getting that leadoff man on, but just really couldn't do much behind it. Matlock, he was getting that thing going, especially that curve, man. That thing, I don't know. I don't know if I could touch it much.
Well, what I'll say is about Matlock, too, was he had did a good job of bringing the heat when he needed to.
Yeah.
He was dropping that curve, but he would drop that curve with 3-2 pitch.
It looked like it's coming it's dropping in the bucket.
You know you're feeling pretty good about what you got when you got a 3-2 pitch, and you'll throw that curveball up there. You've got command of things, but they did a good job tonight. And Northside's able to win the ball game 9-zip. And I'll say it's about Southside. I think they're going to have. They're just young.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, they're young and going to take some growing pains here. And, a lot of these kids probably should be playing JV. You start a 9th grade pitcher, you got 4 or 5 kids that are probably sophomores or 9th graders, and so they're young. But it's just going to take time to build things. Northside had a good ball game tonight, and obviously Northside's going to get better when they get Clayton Moody back. He's a difference maker, probably one of the top pitchers in the state. I don't not really seen who all pitches, but he's definitely one of the top pitchers. But nonetheless, had a lot of fun tonight, Terrell. Enjoyed having you out here, and it was good to be here. And not really happy with the results. 9-0 loss for the Mavs, but nonetheless, a lot of fun getting out here on a beautiful day to get some baseball in.
Well, and the funny thing, I mean, I kind of meant to talk about it when Coach Beaumont was over here chatting with us, but I was thinking about this last night, kind of getting ready, getting my notes ready and everything, and, I look back 3 years ago, and you came up to me, we were talking at a Little League game, and we were talking back then that we wanted to do a baseball game. And then since then, we did football, we've done some basketball. 3 years later, we finally done our first baseball game together. So,
well, and I think too that's going to happen now that as we were talking with Coach Beaumont, I think we'll get some more games in baseball and really make this Maverick Sports Network really take off and be. Sure. I think it's going to be something that's going to be really good. We've got a bunch of kids that really do a great job with everything, and it's only going to get better. And we're going to give them some ideas, get some things going here before the season starts, and. Can't wait for all that. But I know next year sometime I think we're going to do a softball game at some point. So looking forward to that. Never called a girls softball game, but that should be a lot of fun. As there'll be a Northside Southside game at some point, and looking forward to that. Again, these teams will square off again tomorrow, weather permitting, as they'll play at Hunts Park tomorrow at 5. If you get a chance to go out and see some baseball, come on out and watch it. And again, Southside loses here 9-zip. Terrell, great job tonight. Any final thoughts?
Well, my final thought, it's one of those deals when you pitch twice as many pitches as the other team. Usually they're going to score quite a few more runs than you, and that's kind of what we saw here tonight. So hopefully tomorrow we come out and, have some fresh arms and kind of give them a run for their money.
Exactly. Hopefully they'll happen and maybe eliminate some of the base on balls and some of the free passes and, it just kind of makes things snowball. But nonetheless, I think the future is bright for Southside baseball. It's got a lot of young kids and just need to get in there and play some ball, and, some good things will happen at some point. Again, Southside falls 9-zip. I want to thank everybody for watching tonight's broadcast. And, again, like I said, we'll have a lot of things going here as we progress, and we'll have a softball game at some point. Not sure when that's going to be, but looking forward to that. Hope everybody has a great evening, and go Mavs.